Hello and welcome to my Ever Messy Art Studio. My name is Keeks and today we're going to play with my new inks. These are a set of inks that I bought at Blick's around the time of my birthday. So I wanted to really experiment with more drawing with inks and painting with them. And I've really been enjoying the other inks I've been using from Ferris Wheel Press and Kuretake. So whenever I was at Blick's and saw that Winsor and Newton had a set, I really wanted to play with it. And it's very exciting because it comes with several colors. It comes with canary yellow, scarlet, nut brown, violet, blue, orange, emerald, and Indian black. So I am wanting to test these out and see how these will be, and then maybe we can paint something with them. That'd be fun. I was thinking maybe a landscape or something like that. I think that would be quite fun. And look at these cute little boxes they come in. These boxes are just adorable. I might end up keeping those boxes just so that I can, well, you know, so that I can maybe scrapbook with them or something like that. And then inside it does come with a little pamphlet, and it has a couple of different images that people have made with these inks, which is really fun. So it says you can do it as traditional pen and ink drawing, or you can use brush and ink sketching in color. So very cool. And without further ado, let's get these puppies open and see what they look like, because I'm excited. Are you excited? You should be. So if you haven't tried these, you get to try them vicariously through me. So let's see what the bottles look like, because I can see that they're very cute and small. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is, oh boy, am I gonna have to keep the boxes because it doesn't say what color it is on the actual, oh my god, okay. Much better. I opened it this way first, so all I saw was this, and I was like, that doesn't say what color it is. Okay, it does say what color it is, so we're okay. So this is what the canary yellow looks like. Very nice looking. And then the next one we've got is the scarlet. So let's see what scarlet looks like. Ooh, scarlet looks like jam. I kind of want to put that on my toast. Very pretty. The next one is the nut brown. And as I'm going, I'm crushing these boxes so that I can keep them. I'll figure out something to put them in, and then away I will go. Ooh, nut brown. That's a nice color right there. So we've got nut brown. The next one we've got here is violet. Violet, you're turning violet. I don't know, I just love that quote so much. I don't even watch that movie. I just remember it as a kid and always liked it. So we got violet, very pretty. And then the next one is blue. So we've got Winsor and Newton blue ink. Yep, this box is already wanting to be filed down, I guess, but this is what the blue looks like. And then we've got orange. And then after that, we've got emerald. Ooh, that's like a Slytherin green. And lastly, we've got some black. Very nice. So give me a couple of minutes and I will get set up, and for you it'll just be a second. Okay, so I am all set now. So what I have out is I have out my book that I'm going to be using. I'm going to use this page for swatching, and then afterwards we'll use the next page to actually draw on. I'm trying to make sure everything is in here. So I do have a couple of things I start out with. Number one, I have the lids off of all my inks. So I've got all of them here, and I'm going to scooch them over just a smidgen. They are all on camera. There we go. And then I also have this tray here to help me for whenever I add water to it. And to add water, I'm going to try something different. I found this weird pen in my pen collections, and this pen is just a regular ballpoint pen. Nothing special about that part. But for some reason, there's a tank up here that you can put water in. So we're going to use that to spray on our Roigra tray. And then I also have just 2 cups of water, one for cleaning and one for dipping. So we've got that. And then the paintbrush that I'm going to use is this one that I've already used inks with, which is my Hemi one, which is why it's so discolored. This used to be a white brush, but now it's not. And it's because I often use this particular brush for inks, so that I'm not using my good paintbrushes with them. Not that Hemi's bad or anything like that. It's just this is a paintbrush that I didn't mind if it got ruined, kind of thing. So with that being said, let's go ahead and test some of these inks. I should probably get out a little drawing pen too. We can get out one of these guys and do a line real quick. So let's just see what Scarlet looks like. Oh, interesting. This is more of a pinky red. Okay. Very nice. So it's kind of like a pinker version of red. Okay. So let's also try seeing how it does with thickness to it. So first I'm going to dip my brush in here and just kind of squiggle a bit. I don't know if maybe it's my brush, because I know my brush was clean, but there seems to be something in that. Very weird. But I just cleaned my brush off and it looks fine. Let's try dipping it again. See if we there we go. My brush must not have been all the way clean. I was like, that doesn't look good. That looks much better. So we've got that, and then let's see what happens when we add water to it. I'm just gonna spray some water on here real quick. Dip it in here. And we get a beautiful pink when we do that. And I do see that this is trying to spot through the paper, which is interesting. I am using Royal Talons, and some things do actually spletch the paper and go through, but I don't think it's going through a lot. Let's see. No, I don't see it on the other side. Oh, because that's not the other side. I had 2 pages. So it does go through the paper just a little bit. As you can see right here, I see some dotting on there, and that's okay. I'm not exactly mad about that, so it's fine. The other side does not have a work of art on it. It just had me messing around doing I was watching, I found this new artist, what's his name? Mitch Art, M-I-T-C-H Art on YouTube. I've been doing a lot of his drawing tutorials because I really like them. And he seems to match how I learn really well. Like, I feel like what he's saying is making sense. So I've been watching a lot of that lately. Okay, I've got that rinsed off. Let's dip her in this orange and see what happens. There we go. I'm going to clean my brush and get some water on it and just kind of water it out a bit. Okay. Very nice. Oops, I got a droplet of water right there. My bad. All right, let's try Canary Yellow. This one I'm interested to see because I've never seen a yellow ink before. Oh my, it's very yellow. This would be really pretty for like a sunflower or something. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty. Okay, so let's go ahead and try it with our paintbrush. So that's the base form of the color. And I'm going to add some water and drag it. That one does not drag as well. It turns very, very light yellow. So kind of keep that in mind if you use that yellow ink there. Okay. And then we've got our emerald next. That. Rinse that off and try our brush. And some of these might touch a little bit on the edges. That's fine with me. I'm not bothered by it. Drag some of it. Yeah, it's definitely going through the paper. Those dark dots that you see are not actually the ink. What's happening is the paper is oversaturating a bit. So it's possible that we might want to change papers. But as you can see, it's just little dots doing it. And I'm not real worried because this is just a sketchbook. Like, it's not anything crazy. But we could change to a watercolor paper here. We'll see. So I've got this blue next. Whoa, did not mean for that big old drop. That's definitely going to go through. Okay. And then we've got the brush for it. That blue really seeped into the paper. I think whenever we go to paint with this, we are going to have to use a watercolor paper, guys. I just don't think the Royal Talons is going to be able to do it. And that one, I didn't even put that much on because look, I'm dragging it and not much of the blue's coming out of it. So I didn't even really saturate that much. That's okay. This is why we learn. So we've got violet. There we go. It had to travel down the pen a little bit. Before that color seeps into the paper, I'm just gonna kind of wick it a little bit. And then we've got nut brown. It's interesting. I feel like I blobbed these up here more and they didn't seep as much, but these darker colors are really seeping into the paper. So I wonder if it has to do with however the ink is made. Kind of interesting. All right, and then here's our black. That is very black. Oh, look at that. That's crazy. Crazy in a good way. All right, so give me a moment and I'm just going to go ahead and get a watercolor paper for us to use. That way we're not going to be making a huge mess, because what I'm seeing here is going to definitely become a huge problem. At first I was like, maybe not, you know, maybe it'll be okay, but I'm not thinking so. So let me go ahead and get a watercolor paper and then I will be right back. So I decided for this I'm going to use some heavy duty paper. This is actually a hand-bound book that was made by Little Amy Arts. She is on YouTube and on Instagram, though lately she has been having a break from it, but she is a wonderful artist. I definitely highly recommend her. Little Amy Arts does so many beautiful paintings, and she does her own painting classes now, from what I understand too. But she made this book, and it's really cool because it comes with like a little string that you can wrap around it. And she has a little shop on Etsy where she actually sells these. But she uses really good cotton papers with them. Like you can see, I have watercolored in here a lot. That's Neocolor 2, more Neocolors, some pen drawings. Not sure what that one is. I think that's a mixture. But there's a lot going on that you can do with these, because these are thicker papers that should be able to handle it. So I am going to go ahead and get some clips out, I think. Let me see if I have any clips in my bag here. Oh, I can hear them. Oh. And what the clips are going to do is it's just going to give it a bit of weight to weigh down these pages a little bit, because they are very thick kind of, and so they like to pop out because this is a hand-bound book. So what I'm going to do is let's tape the page first, and then we'll worry about the painting part. So I'm going to use just some washi tape first, and I'm just going to prep our page. If I can get it to come up. Ooh, usually washi tape comes right up. This one's like, no ma'am. We're just giving us all kinds of problems today, aren't we? Huh. There we go, I got it. Goodness. Some days washi tape doesn't want to stick, and other days it's just like, no, you shall not pass. Okay. Oops, there's a little. So I'm going to stick that down like that. Been a while since I've used this type of washi tape. I have been using these like cute anime ones, but they rip the papers, unlike the regular washi tapes that I get. So I've been kind of cautious about using them lately. So especially not in this book, because this book I consider to be special. I don't want to use that, so I'm just using some of my older washi tapes, because hopefully they will be less sticky. And yes, I do know about the heating technique where you can, you know, air dry them and it causes them to come up. But usually with washi tape, you don't really have that problem, unlike with painter's tape. So it's really rare that I ever get rips and stuff from using washi tapes. It's just sometimes Amazon gives you good stuff, and sometimes it's like, wow, that's cute, but what is this? I did not. It's okay. Fake it till you make it, right? There we go. So this is going to be a little painting. Is what I'm seeing from this. Is it's going to be small. That's okay. It'll be cute. You'll see. It'll be fine. All right. So I'm just going to put a paper clip there to weigh that down. And I'm going to put one on this side over here too, just so it's not annoying. And it should bop it down a little bit like that. And then we can go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and do a voiceover for the rest of this probably. But yeah, enjoy. I am definitely a creature of habit whenever I'm doing drawings like this. So I always start out with drawing first. So I do like just a simple sketch. And this time I chose to do some abstract fruits. And if you can't tell what that fruit is, because I realized I did not do very well on that fruit, that's supposed to be a star fruit in the top left corner. I've never tried to draw one before, so I wanted to include one because I used to love star fruit as a kid. But yeah, so we just got a bunch of different fruits and stuff, and I figured this way I have plenty varieties of colors so that I could attempt to, you know, do all these different fruits. And what I decided to do with the inks is to use them as a wash. So here you see the wet on wet technique with this brown, and that's how I did the background. And the rest of it is going to be wet on dry. That way I can have a little bit more control with it. But I just thought it was a little bit of fun to, you know, use that wet on wet technique. I like doing that for backgrounds. And then I just gave a base layer to fruits that had simple colors. So I went through and did the green, I did scarlet, and some of those are supposed to be apples, but they didn't really turn out right for some reason. If you see the big long line of what looks like 3 apples, the one in the middle is actually supposed to be a plum, which later you'll see me add purple to it. But yeah. So I just went in and added some light washes and then added some slightly darker ones, got in those base colors there. And then once I was done with the base colors, that's whenever I go in and try to detail it. I was a little surprised here on the wet on dry technique because usually I have more control, like I said, but for some reason, and I think a lot of it has to do with this being a cold pressed paper, it was like leaking out everywhere. Like you can see the bottom of that mango is just going down, 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 and totally taking over the fruit that was originally under it. So when that happens, I just kind of try to go with the flow and just try to do my best because I know at the end of it, it'll probably look okay. So don't get discouraged when that happens. Just think of it as, okay, so I learned something about this, and then move on with it and try to finish your piece anyway, because otherwise, if you are constantly stopping whenever you think that things are going wrong, you're never going to finish your piece. So just try your best and it'll all be okay. So then afterwards, I went through and started using my colored pencils. At first, when I used my colored pencils, I was like, something's not right, and that's whenever I realized probably that this was cold pressed. But the other problem is that I was having was the inks were staying wet for a really long time, and I was afraid that I was going to rip the paper. So then instead of starting out with those colored pencils like I was originally planning to, I went ahead and switched gears and used my black ink to do some outlining to get rid of those red marks from that Bic colored pencil that I was using, mechanical colored pencil. And I just thought that maybe this would add a little bit of fun to it so that you could, you know, kind of see that this was not really supposed to be realistic or anything like that. It was just supposed to be for fun. You know, a bit of a abstract, as they say. But yeah, so after that, I went ahead and made sure everything was super, super dry. And then I went in with the colored pencils, and that seemed to work a lot better. Like, I no longer felt like the page was moist, so that was great. So I think in taking my time to do those outlines, it really helped those big blobs of color to dry, which is kind of crazy because you saw in there I was using my heat tool, but my heat tool was not really helping because of how thick this paper was. Like, maybe if I would have kept the heat tool on it for a while, it could have, but that's also a great way to run your paper, so I didn't want to do that. And then I went ahead and used a white colored pencil to make everything shine slightly to the right so that you could see a bit of lighting. I am honestly not great at doing shadows. So with the shadow part, it didn't really go the way that I planned, if I planned anything at all. So I just tried really hard to at least push those colors in and push those shines so that maybe there could be some semblance of a light source, because that is something that I'm still working on including in my drawings. So let me know in the comments below, do you have problems with light sources? I find them terribly difficult. That and color theory are my main enemies, which is hilarious because as an artist or as somebody who does a lot of art, you would think that color theory would at least be easy for me, and it is not. Actually, it's really funny. So my son started watching a video that's made by the color blocks and number blocks people, and it's called Color Blocks. I'm sorry, Alpha Blocks and Number Blocks, excuse me. And then this one's called Color Blocks, and it actually does color theory for kindergartners, and I've definitely been paying attention to it. Because I'm like, maybe if I just dumb it down a little bit, it'll make sense for me, but we'll see. It's all fun anyway. Okay, so I decided to go with kind of like an abstract fruit theme. So that's what I ended up doing. And I also believe that this might be cold pressed. As you can see, there are a lot of weird spots in here where the color didn't quite go through with the colored pencil. And I think a lot of that has to do with this paper. This is a really rough paper. This paper would actually be great for my pan pastels now that I think of it. But let's go ahead and see what this ended up looking like. So let's go ahead and, oops, I forgot I put that little tiny strip there. And might take me a second because I do have fingernails here. Oh, here we go. One of the things I really liked about the inks were that they were really easy to use, just like a watercolor. Something that I wish I could have changed is I do not like the scarlet being pink. I think they should have just named it hot pink or something with a pink name in it, but to me that is not scarlet. When I think of scarlet, I think of like a bright red. And no matter how many times I tried to mix the inks together to try and make a red, it didn't work. Like I was making dark pinks, I was making all kinds of things. I was trying my little heart out, and it just did not work. So that was probably the only ink that I had trouble with, was the red one. The rest of these inks worked really well, and I enjoyed them. And it's not that the scarlet didn't work well, I shouldn't say it like that, because it did what it was supposed to do. It's just that it wasn't the shade that I would have liked. So now that I know that, I can keep it in mind. So this is what it turned out like, and because this is a cold pressed paper, you can definitely see where it went through the tape a little bit. Because of those ridges, it's just really hard to get it to be like a matte flat line. So that's why you are seeing that. I do think this turned out pretty cute though. Like, I'm not mad at it or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign it. Even my pen is like, what is this? Let's see. Today is now the 18th. And I think that this worked out pretty well. So let me know what you think. Have you tried the Winsor and Newton inks? If so, what kind of things do you like to draw with inks? I would love to know. Oh, let's also double check, did it bleed through? That's a big one. Ta-da! Oh, maybe you should be able to see it. Ta-da! It did not bleed through. So yay, we used a thick enough piece of paper. So yeah, I would definitely use, I'm pretty sure that this is a cold press that has mostly cotton in it. So that worked out really well. If you like having the textures, then go with cold press just like this. Otherwise, if you do hot press, that's almost like, imagine an iron on a shirt and how irons are hot. Well, that's what they do to the paper. So I technically prefer a smooth paper. I am not usually one who uses cold press papers, but I do think that the texture added a little bit of something to this just because it made it look interesting. So if you are someone who is new here, please like, subscribe, or share the video. I'd really appreciate that, and I'm really happy to have you here. If you are already a subscriber, thank you, and hello, it's great to see you again. So one other thing I wanted to mention is I have been watching a lot of Denise Love lately, and she said one of the ways I can grow my YouTube channel is to post 3 videos a week. So I'm going to try to do that. I can't tell you if I'm going to have exact days or not. I know this week specifically, probably not. It's probably going to be at random. But what I would like to do is eventually get in a place where I am doing like maybe every couple of days a video. As I think that would get me up to 3. If there's 7 days in a week, the ideal thing to do would be Sunday, Wednesday, and then maybe Friday. So that could be something that I could do eventually, but I gotta build myself up to that. That's a lot of time, and for someone who's a full-time mom and works a full-time job and does all kinds of stuff, that could be tricky. But I want to take her advice, and I'm gonna try really hard to post 3 videos a week. Some weeks I might not make that deadline, but I'm gonna try my best for you. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Would you like to see more things with inks? And if so, which inks that I've tested are your favorites so far? Did you like the Winsor and Newton best, the Kuritakis, or the Ferris wheel press ones? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye!